we're going to talk about carving with carving easy cut linoleum with some tools. The first thing we're going to talk about are safety rules. The first rule is that when you are using a carving tool, because it is sharp and you need to pay attention to what you are doing, there is no talking. If you have a tool, you are not talking. Second is someone should not be sitting across from you. When we carve away from ourselves and we don't want to carve towards someone else. Third is when you hold the linoleum, you are holding it close to your body, and your hand it could probably touch your belly as you are working. And finally, you're going to be carving away not only from your hand, but your body as well. While you are cutting, you want to pick the correct tool for the job, and these handles are changeable. You can unscrew this, and I'm telling you this because it might happen. Your tool might get loose or it might fall out. And there are parts in here. I'm going to take this apart. There are two parts. If your handle comes apart, please make sure you keep the parts. If we lose one of these parts, it's not going to work. So there's a small C-shaped part, and then there's a part that looks like a circle on the end. Those two go together, they fit close together, and the round part goes towards the top. The flat part is at the bottom. So you stick that towards the tip, and then you screw this back on. The more you tighten it, the less it's going to wiggle. Now, in order to put a tool in, you have the sharp part that has either a V shape, this one is more of a U shape, the cutting part, and then there is a rounder part that actually goes into the handle itself. So you loosen this up, and you have to put it in between the two parts, slide it in, push it down as far as you can, and then you tighten it up. The tip should not wiggle at all while you are carving with it. You are going to then start with the larger areas. This is a new tool for you, so you want to make sure that you feel comfortable before you get into the smaller parts where you're more likely to make a mistake. When you start with a large shape, I'll start over here. The first thing you want to do is carve around the edges. We are carving out the white areas, leaving the black. So you want to make sure when you carve, you are leaving your lines as you carve. As you can see here, I cut next to the black line, but not the line itself. The other thing you want to work towards is working out of corners. If you don't feel very comfortable with the tool, you want to stop short of the corner, flip the linoleum around, and then carve in the other direction. If you carve an area that you don't want to carve, there's really no way to fix it. So you want to be careful and do your best to control it. You will find that you do not have to press very hard. This should feel pretty much like you're cutting butter. If you look at how I'm holding the tool, it is low in my hand. I kind of fist it or palm it, and then I like to control it by putting my pointer finger on the middle part, and look at how low I'm holding this. I am pretty angle. I have a very low angle, and I am not carving deep. I'm not stabbing it down or digging down. Okay, you're just removing the top surface. This is where the ink is going to go. Here I'm doing a curve. As you can see, you can do this two ways. What I'm doing is I'm holding the linoleum cutter steady, and I am moving the linoleum itself, and then I can continue to cut. That sometimes helps you make a smoother curve as you go. Now, I am going a little bit towards the corners. I'm pretty comfortable with carving, so I feel confident that I can stop when I need to. Now that I have this edge outlined, I can go a little bit quicker in the middle, and I can use a bigger tool. As you can see, this is called the V cutter. It's a number 2 cutter for those of you who use the numbers, and you can see the scrap. It doesn't carve out a very big piece. When I have this bigger space, I'm going to save myself some time by switching the tools. I loosen up the tip and I exchange this. This is a number 10 cutter, which is a U cutter. As you can see, when I cut a line, you can see how much more I'm able to remove with one piece of the U cutter versus the V cutter. And then again, I'm just going to go right next to the other part, and you can see it kind of sticks a little bit. I just simply take it and pull it off. You want to be careful that you're not going too deep. When you have the U cutters, they tend to go a little bit deeper than the V cutter would, so just be careful with that you don't get angled too deep. and really you're just trying to remove the surface color. You can see the change in color, and that will be deep enough for you to do your carving.